The electric vehicle EV revolution promised a cleaner, more sustainable future for transportation. But recent statistics indicate that an increasing percentage of EV owners are becoming disillusioned and considering switching to gas-powered vehicles. Despite the environmental benefits and technological breakthroughs associated with electric vehicles, a number of obstacles and disappointments have arisen, forcing some owners to reconsider their vehicle choice. This shift in mood highlights the difficulties and obstacles to widespread adoption of electric mobility. Significant milestones have occurred along the path to electrification, including advances in battery technology, the development of charging infrastructure, and the debut of novel EV models by prominent manufacturers. Despite these accomplishments, EV users have faced a slew of problems that have tempered their enthusiasm for electric transportation. The realities of EV ownership have prompted some people to question the feasibility and practicality of electric transportation, citing range anxiety, charging infrastructure restrictions, upfront expenses, and battery degradation. Furthermore, driving experience and lifestyle aspects influence owners' impressions of EVs. While electric vehicles provide various benefits, such as rapid torque and environmental sustainability, they may not meet all drivers' preferences and needs. Driving range, charging convenience, vehicle pricing, and infrastructure accessibility all have an impact on EV owners' satisfaction and likely to stick with their vehicles. Against this context, it is critical to investigate the underlying causes of EV owners' discontent and desire to return to gas cars. Understanding the complexity and nuances of this phenomenon allows stakeholders to find opportunities to address current difficulties, improve EV ownership experiences, and speed the transition to sustainable mobility. Let's take a closer look at why some EV owners may consider going back to gas cars. 1. Range anxiety. Range anxiety remains a serious barrier to mainstream EV adoption, slowing the shift to electric vehicles and weakening potential buyers' confidence. Despite attempts to extend EV driving range and expand charging infrastructure, many drivers are concerned about being stuck without access to a charging station. This worry is especially obvious during long-distance travel or in areas with inadequate charging infrastructure, where the chance of running out of battery power increases. Furthermore, while EV makers continue to improve battery technology and introduce models with higher driving ranges, consumers remain concerned about the perceived disparity between EV range and that of gas automobiles. The ease and familiarity of gas stations, combined with the ability to recharge quickly and inexpensively, make them an appealing option to the perceived constraints of EVs. As a result, range anxiety affects not only individual EV owners' driving experiences, but also public opinions of electric transportation. Addressing this issue requires a holistic approach that includes continuing expansion of charging infrastructure, breakthroughs in battery technology to boost range, and targeted initiatives to educate consumers about the capabilities and benefits of EVs. Only by reducing range anxiety will electric mobility reach its full potential, paving the path for a more sustainable and environmentally responsible future. 2. Charging challenges. Charging issues are a key barrier for some EV users, diminishing the convenience and dependability of electric transportation. While home charging is a practical and cost-effective alternative for many EV owners, relying only on public charging infrastructure presents considerable issues. One of the most significant challenges is the long wait times at crowded charging stations, especially during peak hours or in congested places. The requirement to queue for available charging sites can cause delays and frustration, particularly for drivers who have time-sensitive travel plans. Furthermore, compatibility concerns between charging networks can exacerbate matters, making drivers to navigate a fragmented and sometimes confusing charging landscape. Furthermore, unexpected outages or malfunctions at charging stations can disrupt travel plans and leave EV owners stranded without a reliable charging source. These unanticipated disruptions might diminish trust in the dependability of electric vehicles and promote impressions of them as impractical or uncomfortable. Overall, the perceived inconvenience of arranging routes around charging stations, waiting for a vehicle to charge, and negotiating the complexity of public charging infrastructure may cause some EV owners to reconsider their vehicle selection. 3. Upfront cost. The initial cost of acquiring an EV remains a substantial barrier for many consumers, despite the long-term savings provided by decreased fuel and maintenance costs. While government subsidies and lower prices for EVs have made them more accessible over time, the initial expenditure required to purchase an EV may still be too expensive for some purchasers. This is especially true for consumers on a low budget or with limited access to financing options. The higher initial cost of EVs compared to gas cars may create financial barriers that prohibit certain consumers from switching to electric transportation. Addressing this issue may necessitate additional incentives or subsidies to make EVs more affordable for a wider variety of consumers, as well as expanded access to financing options to aid in the transition to electric vehicles. 4. Battery degradation issues. Battery degradation is a prevalent issue among EV owners, despite manufacturers' promises on battery performance and durability. Over time, the capacity of EV batteries can deplete, resulting in reduced range and potentially greater maintenance costs. This progressive loss in battery performance raises worries about EVs' long-term viability when compared to regular gas-powered vehicles. The risk of battery degeneration and the related costs of battery replacement may concern EV owners, especially as their vehicles age. While advances in battery technology continue to increase the durability and lifespan of EV batteries, resolving concerns about battery degradation is critical to increasing public trust in electric vehicles. To address these issues and assure the continuous adoption of EVs in the automotive sector, manufacturers may need to consider new solutions such as stronger battery management systems or more comprehensive warranty programs. 5. Driver experience. Preferences. For some drivers, the driving experience is more than just going from point A to point B. It's about the sensations and emotions evoked by the car. Gas-powered vehicles can provide a visceral experience that enthusiasts like, with the scream of the engine, tactile feedback from the steering wheel, and rumble of acceleration all contributing to a sense of excitement and engagement. While EVs have their advantages, such as immediate torque and smooth acceleration, they may lack the aural and tactile feedback that some drivers prefer. For people used to driving in gas automobiles, the quiet hum of an electric engine and the lack of gear shifts can feel distant or less engaging. Finally, driving experience preferences are subjective and might differ significantly between persons. While EVs have various advantages, like environmental sustainability and technological innovation, some drivers may still prefer the raw, visceral sensation afforded by gas-powered vehicles, causing them to oppose the transition to electric. 6. Infrastructure and policy challenges. Infrastructure and regulation are critical factors in determining the scenario for EV adoption. However, in some areas, issues remain in developing strong charging infrastructure and executing consistent government policies to successfully support EVs. Limited access to charging stations, particularly in remote or sparsely populated locations, can be a significant challenge for EV owners, especially during lengthy travels or in emergencies. Furthermore, inconsistencies in government incentives and regulations for EVs can cause uncertainty and irritation among owners. Changes in legislation governing tax credits, rebates, and incentives for acquiring EVs can have an impact on the financial viability of owning an electric car. Furthermore, insufficient assistance for home charging installations or delays in infrastructure development might increase the difficulties faced by EV owners, leading to frustration and a desire to return to gas-powered vehicles. Addressing these technical and regulatory obstacles is critical to creating an environment that encourages EV adoption and guaranteeing a smooth transition to sustainable transportation. Overall, while EVs provide various advantages, such as lower emissions, cheaper running costs, and increased energy efficiency, addressing the problems and concerns highlighted above is critical to assuring the sustained growth and adoption of electric vehicles. Manufacturers and policymakers can help reduce dissatisfaction among some EV owners and promote broader acceptance of electric transportation by investing in charging infrastructure, providing incentives to encourage EV adoption, addressing range anxiety through advancements in battery technology, and improving the overall driving experience of EVs. In conclusion, while electric vehicles (EVs) represent a promising solution to combat climate change and reduce reliance on fossil fuels, challenges persist that have led some EV owners to consider switching back to gas cars. From range anxiety and charging challenges to upfront costs and concerns about battery degradation, various factors contribute to the frustration and dissatisfaction experienced by certain EV owners. Additionally, preferences for the driving experience provided by gas-powered vehicles and infrastructure and policy challenges further complicate the transition to EVs. Addressing these challenges will be essential to support the continued growth and adoption of electric vehicles. Improving charging infrastructure, enhancing government incentives and regulations, reducing upfront costs through subsidies and incentives, and addressing concerns about battery longevity are critical steps that policymakers, industry stakeholders, and communities can take to encourage the widespread adoption of EVs. Ultimately, while the road ahead may have its challenges, the transition to electric mobility remains an important goal in the fight against climate change and environmental degradation. By addressing the concerns of current and prospective EV owners, we can pave the way for a more sustainable future in which electric vehicles play a central role in shaping transportation systems worldwide. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more captivating content on our YouTube channel.